Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Lisa with Lisa's Faith and Budget Planning channel. I'm excited to be here today. I'm excited to be here with you getting into my weekly check-in, and we are weekly checking in for August the 29th to Thursday the 4th. Today's Friday the 5th, so we are just filming what has already happened, and as you can see, not a lot's gone on, but there were some significant amounts that I did have to pay back to the credit card. Now, all my spending goes on the credit card. I pay once a week. I've just made the payment this morning, and it keeps my credit card paid off by checking in every week. And I also check in on any bills that come in for the week as well. I use a credit card spending tracker that I keep in the back here, and that lets me know what bills we have had. And I have it color-coded to match the key that I have here for my spending categories. You will not see my bills on here. I just look back on that page to find out what I needed to pay. And then when I'm done totaling all the things up and sharing what we spent for the week, I tell you how much I have to pay back the credit card. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm excited to have you here. That's kind of why I ran through everything on what I do and how I do it. So nobody's surprised. I did see quite a few new subscribers this month, and thank you if you're new to my channel. I appreciate the support and enjoy doing this process. This is how I budget, and it's real and it's exactly what it is. So my numbers are mine and personal for our family. Yours probably look completely different and you have different priorities than we do. The thing about budgeting is the math is the same. The systems are the same. You need to track your spending so you're not over budget in your spending. You need to track your bills, what comes in, what goes out, when that happens, all of those things, what paycheck period actually covers it, and have it flow in a way that makes sense to you. So let's go ahead and get into the numbers. I have my little notepad here. I went ahead and wrote down all my transactions. I think only 7 to 10 transactions, not very many, and a couple of bills. And then I actually paid a sinking fund straight from the checking account to my credit card that got charged to the credit card. And I did that because the cash is already in the checking account. I might as well go ahead and pay it. And I just made a note to reference here why the payment I made was more than I normally would. My next video going up will be my sinking fund setup video. So you can check that out after this on where this came out of and the category and how it's going to flow with my sinking funds. I have about 16 sinking funds that I work through. Their annual budget or annual expenses as well as quarterly expenses. So things that pop up once a year or things I have scheduled once a year. So let's go ahead and look at grocery household first. That's in the pink. The first thing I have here is $140.51. Right here, Meijer is my grocery store, and that was a grocery pickup that I did for the upcoming week's groceries. So I got things like milk, eggs, water, snacks, lunch things for work for my husband, shrimp, pasta sauce, hamburger helpers, things that the family likes and enjoys once a week, bread, drinks, canned goods, and stuff to make s'mores. So, and that is not cheap anymore. Candy bars and marshmallows and the graham crackers, the good name brand stuff. I mean, that's $20 right there. If you're buying for a family of 4, it's like, oh my goodness. Now, we are a family of 4 adults. I have 2 adult autistic sons that live at home with us, and then my husband who works, and then his income streams. So this is just me sharing on how we budget for our family. And so our grocery bill stays pretty high. It's pretty comparable to a full family, even if it's not much different than it was when my sons were in school. So they kind of have the same rhythm and patterns of what we buy as we did before they graduated or finished school and now live at home and are adults. So we have that. The next thing I have is Amazon here. I bought some supplements and it was $20.12. And I consider supplements as part of the grocery household. So anything that's cleaning supplies to trash bags to bathroom stuff to supplements, anything you can buy in your regular grocery store, that's where I count that money coming from. And I budget $1,500 for grocery household category. You're going to see when I get to my weekly check-in tracker page that I subtract down My husband gets paid at the beginning of the month 80% of his income, and then we only get paid one more time on the middle of the month, and then it starts over. So it's 2 paychecks periods a month, even if there's more than one income stream. They kind of happen simultaneously, and having that much money up front gives me the opportunity to break down and have the cash I need for all our categories for spending. It's already sitting in the checking account, and I just get to spend it as I need it. And it works well for us. So I do like that system that we have now. The next thing I have is $149. And the $149, even though this was part of this week's groceries, and this is August 29th and 30th and August 31st. And then I put this here because my husband's first month paycheck actually comes at the end of the month. And I just count it as the first of the new month. In order to have the ability to put stickers down, I just use these extra blocks over here, and highlighted that this was August, not going into October. So that's where I get that from. But $149.55. So that was a combination of things that I didn't get the first grocery run, and I had spent so much last month on buy one get one 40%, and buy two and get one free, which would lower the average cost of our larger bathroom items like body wash and stuff like that, that I pretty much ran out of money. And I had to borrow money from our sinking funds to cover it. And it all worked out. We ended up with a zero budget, but I did have to pull money from somewhere to do it. And here I am again doing this, and I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, and this actually is paid, so five weeks. So 4 weeks of 7 days, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 days for the last 5th week of the month. So hopefully I can make it stretch this month. We'll see. The last week of the month shouldn't be too bad, but I don't know yet. I'm actually considering only doing 4 chiropractic visits instead of 5 this month, just because we have a wedding to go to on the 20th, and we have other things that we need to do, and freeing up a little money that could help us here in the last 4 days would be good, and just things like that. So I'm hoping I can keep things good and under control. Here on this Monday, I bought juice, crescent rolls, milk. We go through a lot of milk. My sons love milk. Things for the household like Rid-X. We have a septic tank, canned biscuits, water, breakfast items, drinks, eggs, chips for lunch, and ketchup, and some bathroom items, potatoes, steak, and stuff like that. So that was pretty much the rundown of what I got there, and that was $149. And the inflation is so bad. Every year it's gone up. It feels like 10% more than what we had planned, and I'm just like, I don't know what else to do. I did give myself $1,500 instead of $1,400 like I did last month. So hopefully that helps carry me through this entire month. And I'm going to go ahead and total this up. All right, that was $310.18, a little bit over what I want to do for the week, but I think that's okay. I'll try to do less next week, but as far as inflation goes, I'm not seeing that as something that's maybe possible. Another area I want to kind of keep in control is 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 Fridays. Every Friday we go out. And oh no, it was 5 Fridays starting here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I have 5 Fridays. I only did $400. I'm trying to do lower amounts for eating out, so not the nicer places or places where we leave 20% tips and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens. But last week we actually did less than $100, so that was pretty good. It was, let's see, sorry, covering everything up. Papa John's, the whole family ate pizza. I wasn't feeling well. I didn't want to leave the house, so I didn't want to do a date night and go out. $55.08, including the tip. We DoorDashed that. And then Panda Express, my husband went and picked up, he wanted orange chicken, and that's the best place to get it here. So 1972, we just picked up orange chicken and teriyaki chicken, and that's what we got for the night. And then drinks at home. And that total cost is $74.80. There we go. Miscellaneous. So miscellaneous, did I have put that? Yeah, that's right here. Oh, I forgot to check that. I got those. Okay. I bought this little word here you can probably not read. It says drawers. So the 3 drawer count plastic Sterilite drawers that you get to store stuff in your home. I bought 2 more sets because they were on sale, 20% off, so they were less than 15 bucks. They were like $13.50 or something like that. But anyways, or whatever this is, actually, I should say, 13 something. $27.18 is what I spent. They're $13.59. Yeah, I was pretty close for 2 of those drawers. I actually picked them up at Meijer's where I got my order. I just split these 2. If I add these 2 numbers up and look back at my credit card, that is the actual charge. But I just split with the 2 categories, $27.18. I think that's the last of the drawers. I looked in his room just a few minutes ago and helped him, like, get my son, who's autistic, well, we've already discussed that. He's 21. But he's been collecting Legos since he was like 6 or 7 years old. And so he has lots of pieces. He likes to build them and break them apart and build other things. And so we have a lot of little pieces. And all these drawers we're filling those up with these just parts and pieces. The way he likes to kind of dig through them and find the pieces that he wants. He does organize some, but the way his mind works, I just don't push it. But in recent years, I guess the past 8 to 10 years, he has definitely been keeping his Lego kits put together. And most of them are Ninjago or Minecraft. So, and some of those are even in boxes and bags and stuff. He just has no room for them. So, as far as his room and what we're working on there for storage, that is taken care of. The next project we'll take care of, and everything is shelving. So we're going to buy the long boards and some brackets and hang those up in his room. And we're also going to we have all the Lego Dimensions, the video game, and for the Xbox, and I absolutely love that game with him, and we used to play it all the time. And we are going to come up with a system where we can hang that up as well, all the little figurines and their little discs and stuff. So I'm excited about that. I enjoy the Lego process. I have him build me Legos for Christmas. So Lego is very important to our family and we all enjoy it a little too much. So now the last thing I have here for spending was gas. So this gas usually lasts me about 2.5 weeks. I don't drive around a lot, but sometimes we need a little more, but this time I only had like 53 miles left in my gas tank. And I stopped at the gas station, got 6306. I have a large vehicle, Nissan Armada, but it's a 2013, so it's paid off. All we have to do is pay car insurance. I did not spend Wednesday and Thursday. I was so proud of myself. If you know me, I normally spend a little bit every day, and I just kind of was, nope, we're not doing that. So now we're on Friday. Obviously, the weekend we go out to eat. So next week, you'll see what happens on the 5th through the 11th. Now, I have no copay or unbudgeted. I do have 2 bills and 1 sinking fund. So let's go look at the bills first. And I'm going to look at the paycheck right here. So this is my paycheck layout where I put all the income in and the budgeted amount. That's what I've already filmed. Paycheck 1 setup. The next one I'll film on or after the 15th is Paycheck 1 closeout, Paycheck 2 setup. And so that each of these kind of roll into the next, and what's left over in spending here rolls into that paycheck period. These are the bills that have actually hit the credit card, and I have this one here and this one here. Now this comes out of my checking, this comes out of my checking. This one I just wrote a check for, and this one just got charged today, but that'll go into next week's paying. So these two bills, the TRICARE and the Spectrum, which is our internet, are the ones that we're paying today. All right, that's $842. And then my husband took my vehicle in for some maintenance. We got oil change, air filter, all kinds of stuff. $156.73 is what the total was, and that is actually a sinking fund. And I have that back here. So my next video will actually show all of this, and then we are going to go ahead. We have no plans for any other car maintenance. So I have $166.16 right now. When I do my sinking fund setup, I will put the deposits down, which is the next video. And then withdrawal, I'm going to go ahead and put this $156.73. And I always add $50 to this, so it'll be just over $200. Subtract this out, I still have money left, and then I'll just keep adding $50 a month until we need to use it again for another vehicle or whatever. We have 2 vehicles, but only one of them gets used, and that's mine. The other one gets used, but infrequently. My husband has a work vehicle, so he doesn't have to drive his personal vehicle to work. All right, so now that I have that down, we are going to go ahead and come here and write down exactly how much we spent. I have on this side this notes area for myself. 4 adults divided by 5 weeks. I want to average $300 a week. We were pretty close to that. I want to average $80 a week for eating out. Average $30 a week for miscellaneous. Gasoline is $44 a week. I don't really have to average that a week. It should be like twice a month, and it's usually enough, so that's not a problem. And then $75 for co-pays for prescriptions as well as doctor's appointments. My son just had a doctor's appointment, but sometimes it takes a while to process, so either this month or next month they'll actually process the appointment, and it should be $25. So we should have enough for that. Let's go ahead and come back here. So this is my weekly check-in. I have my budgeted for the month, how much I plan to spend, and then I subtract down, and that tells me how much I can spend that's left for the rest of the month. And that has been working for me pretty well. I used to take what I was divided and only allow myself that amount, but that wasn't working for me anymore. And since most of our income actually comes in cash at the beginning of the month, it's fine. I have no problem taking care of whatever we spent. So $310.18 for grocery household, $74.80 eating out, $150. Let's see, where's that? Oh, miscellaneous, $27.18. So we're right within, except for grocery household, we're over by $10.18 for what we plan per week. Gas, I really don't count it per week. It's just, I know a couple times a month I'll be spending $160. Sometimes we travel a little bit. That's why I have more than what I need, but that's fine. And then we had 0 for copay. And then I do have a category from budget. Used to be my husband made more, and we would have buffer in the checking account, and if I use that, that's where this comes in. So it's just a line item that is useful when I need it, but I didn't have any unbudgeted or copay, and then there's that. This won't be part of this because that's a totally different tracker and totally different count. The only reason I'm paying it out directly from the checking account to the credit card is I don't want to move the sinking fund money to the savings and then move it to the credit card. I can just do one step and they'll be fine. So that's why I'm including it on the weekly check-in, but it's not the norm. Now let's take the totals of the budget and the spent and come up with a new balance. Now for notes, you can make notes whatever you want to yourself, but I'm just using check marks so I can say, yes, it's been paid because I've already made the payment before I filmed the video. So 1,500 minus the 310.18, that gives me $1,189.82. Now I have $400 minus the 74.80, and that is $325.20. 150 minus the 27.18, and that is $122.82. And 220 minus the 63.60, $156.40, and then 75 and 0. All right, so those are my new balances that will start me for week 2. This is what I have left over. If I take a quick look, I can look and see how much I have for the next 4 weeks per week, because I'm doing a 5-week month, and it's almost $300. So if I can do something that is like less than $300, like I guess the difference of 1018 out of 300, if I can do that amount less, then it'll average 300 a week for the 5 weeks that I have, and we're good to go there. But we're almost $300 a week, so I think we can live off of that. That's fine. 325.20 divided by 4 more weeks, and that's $81 a week. So I'll have to talk to my husband about that. How do we want to spend that $81? Remember that my sons have pizza deliveries on Fridays, and so they have that, and that's $35 with the tip. And so whatever's left from that, let's say $36, $45 for me and my husband. Where can we go and what can we do? If we want to spend over, then we have to pay attention. It helps make educated decisions, and that's what we're looking at. Miscellaneous, we still have $120. That's just random things that don't belong in the other categories. If we bought shoes or socks, or we'll probably be using this weekend. I need to take my sons and my husband shopping for shirts, button-down shirts to wear to a wedding. We're excited about that. So yeah, that is going to be really good to use the miscellaneous, because it's not something we spend on a regular basis, and so that's what the catch-all miscellaneous category is for. Gas we're good, and copay we're good. So that is the weekly check-in. Now we're going to go through the totals of how much I had to pay back the credit card. Now, if you're using a credit card and you want to spend on it, but you want to keep it paid off, the best way to do it is tracking. You have to know what you spent, and not just know what the balance is at the end of the month before the interest charge hits, but also to know specifically why. So you're not swiping your card just for any reason, or using Apple Pay or any of the other convenience pays that you can get. So you want to make sure you're making the payment regularly and often to avoid that interest charge. So this time around, I had to pay the credit card. And remember, all these amounts are planned into my budget. So I'm using those numbers to make sure I have the cash available to pay the credit card. So let's total these numbers up. All right, so when I paid the credit card this week, I paid $1,474.49. And that matches exactly what I paid the credit card earlier this morning. So we are good to go there. Now with the sinking funds, normally it's usually paid out of the sinking funds if it's charged to a credit card. But if it's within the amount I planned for the sinking funds, and I'll show you real quick before I close out this video. I don't typically move the money into the savings account that holds the money for my sinking funds until mid-month, or close to when I do the video and get it uploaded. Actually, it comes out of paycheck too when I do that. So it doesn't get moved over until the middle of the month, and even though I've already kind of spent out of it, I just take whatever my total is here and subtract that amount from it, and then only move what I need for the rest of the funds. And then just pay the credit card from one account, not moving it from one account to another. So in all my accounts, my checking account, my savings account, and my credit card are one bank. So it's very easy for me to maneuver money around within the one institution. I prefer to have all the money go into one place, and then I disperse out from there. And when I disperse out, it's either an auto withdrawal for a bill, which I make sure is in my bill paycheck to paycheck budget. It's also accounted for here in my annual or quarterly subscriptions or bills that come up throughout the year. And as you can see, I have everything from subscriptions to home stuff to car stuff to gifts and Christmas time frame. So that's what that one line item is here at the bottom. And so because I know how much I'm going to be moving over and how much I already paid the credit card, I'm going to subtract this number. Even though you'll see the whole number when I record, I'm not going to change that. I know I just have to keep in mind what I've done in order to carry it over. So I have a plan for it. I have notes on it. It's written down. We're good to go. Not everybody thinks in those ways. So if you moved it to your savings and then moved it to your credit, that's fine. Your bank's not going to get upset with you on it. They really don't care. I just didn't want to move it that many times, but it did force me to have to make notes on everything. So that's how I operate here. So that is my weekly check-in. I look forward to checking in with you guys next week. I'll be checking in on Friday the 5th to the 11th for next week and seeing what we spend this upcoming week. And I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of my videos, please subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys next time. Have an amazing and blessed day. Bye.
I would be up waiting for you if you had to leave. I would wait a lifetime if you were at sea. I just wanna say that I feel that our love is real.